Hello gorgeous peeps, I'm Chris from TechSpert and today we're going to be reviewing the fresh new Sony WF-1000XM5 true wireless earbuds. You'll be able to stuff these sexy wee pebbles into your ear holes from August as long as you have a spare £259 to chuck at Sony. So cheap they certainly ain't, but are they actually worth it? Well, I've been testing out the Sony WF-1000XM5s for about a month now, still not used to that bloody name. So here's my full review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, according to Sony, the XM5s are 25% more compact and 20% lighter compared with the previous generation. As you can see, they do still poke out of your lug holes a wee bit, but nothing horrendous, at least you haven't got those dangly, drippy stem things. Makes it look like something suspect is leaking out of your ears. And they certainly are light. They feel really comfortable to wear. I think around 5 to 6 hours was my longest stretch without taking the buds out of my ears. No worries whatsoever, no fatiguing. And that's no doubt helped by the fact you've got these lovely foamy tips which kind of mold themselves to the insides of your ears. Doesn't feel like they're pushing on the insides of your head or anything. And Sony has now given you 4 different sizes of tip, including the fresh new extra small ones, just in case you've got a tiny wee head. As with most true wireless earbuds these days, you've also got a tip test inside of Sony's headphones app, just to make sure you're definitely wearing the best possible set for your lugs. I just stuck with the medium tips. I found that the buds stayed securely lodged inside of my lugs, no matter how ferociously my head was vibrating. And just to prove how good that fit is, mosh test! And both the buds and the case itself as well, constructed from recycled plastics, so good on you, Sony. Now when it's time to connect to your smartphone or your audio streaming device of choice, well, it's Bluetooth 5.3, of course, as you would expect from a premium pair of true wireless earbuds. That means that the Sony WF-1000XM5s can connect to 2 devices at once. And I gotta say, I was ridiculously impressed with the stability of that connection. Even though I had the streaming set to prioritizing audio quality over performance, I had next to no stumbles or judders or anything, even when I was in absolutely packed out train stations, really busy central London locations. It was so close to flawless, it was unbelievable. And Sony's headphones app is, as always, a bit of a cracker. Got pretty much all the features you could possibly want packed in here, so you can quickly and easily check the battery levels. In here is where you can prioritize either sound quality or stability. You could also choose your preferred voice assistant. I just left this on the Google Assistant. And in here is also where you customize the touch controls for the WF-1000 Mark Vs. I actually just left these on the defaults because I found it worked really well. Quick tap of that left bud and you can toggle the noise cancellation mode. And meanwhile I had all the standard media controls assigned to the right bud. And Sony also offer a repeat tap function as well, which I haven't seen on any other buds that I've tested. And yes, you do have that auto pause feature as well when you rip a bud out of your lugs. Quite handy if you need to have a sudden conversation with someone and that transparency mode ain't gonna cut it. And personally I found the touch controls worked well. You do get tonal feedback when you're tapping and poking away, so you know that you're doing it right. It's all very intuitive. I didn't find there was any kind of learning curve or anything. And I found I didn't accidentally activate those controls at all, mostly because I wasn't really fiddling with the buds because they were just comfortable to wear. And with that Google Assistant activated, I got the usual merry wee chime in my ear every time a new notification popped up on my smartphone. But the assistant could also announce exactly who it was who was messaging me if it was in the likes of WhatsApp. You can even demand that the assistant reads out your messages aloud if you can't be bothered to pull your smartphone out of your pocket or bag or whatever. You can even respond to messages right there and then, so it's all super simple. As for sound quality, well, do you even really need to ask, to be fair? The Sony WF-1000XM5s pump out premium sound with minimal distortion thanks to the Dynamic Driver X tech and that high quality DAC. You've got 24-bit audio signal processing, so of course these Sony buds support high-res audio wireless. Of course you've got LDAC support, and if you've got any old low-quality compressed tracks where you've got Sony's digital sound enhancement engine Extreme to give them a bit of a boost, clear them up a bit, make them sound less cack. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm an audiophile, mostly because my hearing isn't particularly great anymore these days, but I really appreciated being able to hear absolutely every little tiny wee element of every single track that I played, especially more complex tracks. You pick up on little bits that you just don't hear with other buds. And diving back into that headphones app, I also really like Sony's audio profiling tool, which can customize the audio it spaffs into your head based on your own hearing abilities and just general preferences. It's certainly nice and easy compared with a lot of these audio profiling tools. All you do is play any song of your choice that you've got on your device. And then when you start the audio profiler, it'll pop up 5 wee circles like this. Just tap each one and it will slightly tweak the sound to maybe enhance the bass a bit, boost the highs. Just keep on tapping them, testing them out until you find the one that you definitely prefer and then hit next. Just repeat this a few times and then boom, you've got your very own equalizer all set up on your behalf, so you can enjoy the best possible sound. Oh, and if you're into your immersive 360-degree reality audio experiences, well, Sony has now added head tracking support to these buds too. Now, Sony is marketing the WF-1000XM5s as the best noise-cancelling true wireless earbuds. And of course, these Sony buds are renowned for being absolutely fantastic when it comes to cutting out all the crap that's going on all around you. You got 3 mics on board. These suck up all of that ambient noise, and then you've got the integrated processor V2 as well as HD noise cancelling processor QN2E, which take in all this data and then work their magic. These processors then feed that data to Sony's dynamic driver X, which then produces the noise cancelling waves. There's loads of techie jargon bollocks there, but does it actually work and is it improved here on the Mark Vs? Well, first of all, those foam tips are doing a lot of the work themselves. As I said before, they sort of mold themselves to fit the shape of your inner ear, really help to block out a lot of the noise that's going on all around you. But then when you knock on that ANC, it has an extra impact on top, leaving you in complete peace and bliss. Now, don't get me wrong, these buds can't work miracles. They can't completely dampen out that hideous screeching of the feckin' Northern Line, for instance, but they can make it considerably more bearable, which is good enough. And it certainly is the best ANC that I've personally tested on any pair of true wireless earbuds. If you fancy listening to a quiet podcast while you're sat next to a motorway, that is perfectly possible. And also trains and all the usual fare as well. They really help to cut down on the rumble, the vibration. So ideal for commuting and for traveling in general. Haven't had a chance to test them out in plane yet, but hopefully that's coming soon. And I found that there was next to no wind feedback at all as well, so ideal if you live somewhere a bit gusty or if you want a pair of true wireless earbuds to rock in your ears while you're doing a bit of jogging or whatever. And the Sony WF-1000, etc, also boast improved call quality thanks to those noise cancelling smarts. As you can hear, the buds can clearly pick up on your voice, helped by the bone conduction sensor, which actually knows when it's you speaking and not somebody else nearby. And the buds can then separate you from all that background bollocks. But of course, I'm just chatting away in a silent studio right now. Let's get some really loud, obnoxious traffic sounds on the go and see how it fares with that. Okay, so I'm now simulating being on a very busy high street with lots of traffic, trucks roaring by, lots of angry horn honking, all that good stuff. And as you can hear, these Sony True Wireless earbuds can still clearly and plainly pick up on my voice. So whichever unfortunate soul I'm busy chatting, I can still hear exactly what I'm saying. So let's finish up this lovely wee review of the Sony WF-1000XM5s with a chat about the battery life. And Sony reckons you'll get around 8 hours of use from these buds from a full charge. And that is with the noise cancelling switched on. And I found in my personal testing that it wasn't far off that. I tended to get just over 7 hours from each of these buds. On one occasion, randomly, the right bud did drain a lot faster than the left buds. That died after more like 5.5, 6 hours, but that seemed to be a one-off, touch wood, thankfully. Probably just some quirky wee bug, because I was, of course, reviewing these Sony buds pre-release. But yeah, 7 hours is a banging result for some true wireless earbuds, and certainly great news if you do find yourself going on long journeys. As for the case, well, that is proper wee, as I said before, easy to slip into any pocket, bag, whatever. When you're done with your buds or they do need a charge, just pop them straight back in there. You've got the usual magnetic connection, which holds them in there reasonably firmly. Haven't had any problems with them popping out and flying across the floor or anything. And chuck them in there for just about sort of 4 or 5 minutes, you'll easily get a full hour of playback. However, one of the drawbacks of having such a diminutive case is the fact that the battery stuffed inside isn't exactly massive, so you will only get around 2 full recharges of the buds before the case itself needs juicing up as well, which thankfully you can either use Type-C USB, otherwise it does charge wirelessly. And there you have it, my lovelies. That is my full, final, frank review of the Sony WF-1000XM5 true wireless earbuds after I've been testing them for around a month. And I gotta say, obviously, I love them. The design is slick, the sound quality is fantastic, and the noise cancellation, well, frankly, Sony isn't f***ing about here. It really is the best that I've personally tested, at least in a pair of true wireless earbuds. But the only real drawback for me is the fact that they're pretty bloody expensive. 250-ish quid, not exactly affordable unless you're having to wipe your ass with £50 notes. And if you're really tempted by the Sonys, but you can't stretch to that sort of budget, well, you've got the likes of the Soundcores, which I recently reviewed, which cost around £100 just under, and they still offer strong audio quality, good noise cancellation, and not quite the same full range of features as the Sonys, but pretty bloody close. Anyway, that's what this ball knobber reckons. What do you guys think? Are you tempted by the Sonys? Or maybe you're watching this video a couple of months in the future, you've actually got your own pair, and you're absolutely loving them, or not so much? Definitely chuck your review down in the comments below. Please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you!